resource person, Dr. Kaila Chandra. Before going further, I would like to request Dr. Bapsila, Assistant Professor, Plant Breeding and Genetics. She will be introducing the speaker to the audience. Dr. Bapsila.
Thank you, Raza sir. Now I will highlight the brief biodata of Dr. Kailash Chandra sir. He is currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Plant Breeding and Genetics at College of Agriculture, Sri Karan Narendra Agriculture University, Jopner, Rajasthan, Fatehpur Sikar. He has obtained his BSc degree from University of Agricultural Sciences. He has qualified ICAR NET, ASIR, UGC NET, and JRF in life science. His keen research mainly focus on pulse breeding, barley breeding, biotic stress, and molecular breeding. He has published more than 25 research papers in various national and international reviewed journals. He also published book chapter in various agencies. He is also serving as life member of various scientific societies, and he is also recipient of Young Scientist Award by Agricultural Technology Development Society, Uttar Pradesh, India. This is the brief biodata of Dr. Kailash Chandra sir. So now I request sir to proceed for the talk. Kailash Chandra sir, please.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
So at the onset, I thank you so much to Dr. P. Raja and Dr. Bapsila for inviting me on this particular aspect. So I will just share my slides. Slides are visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible, but okay, sir. Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Again, I thank you so much to the organizing committee for this wonderful topic of national webinar, that is recent trends in seed production, processing, and marketing and entrepreneurship development. That is actually need of present time, because the seed production or to provide the quality seeds to the farmers or to aware about this to the farmers is a very important theme of the day. So in this context, today I will talk about the scenario of seed certification, legal system for seed quality assurance. So in this continuation to this, okay, so in continuation to this, first I will move down this annotated files. So in continuation to this introductory part, so first we need to understand that what is the seed. As we know that this particular webinar is for UG, PG, PhD, and farmers also. So first we need to understand what is a seed. As we know that it is well known that seed means, in botanically, we will understand that it is the mature fertilized ovules and it is embedded in the living tissue or endosperms, like that. But according to the Seed Act 1966, so Seed Act in 1966, it came on 29th December 1966. So according to that law, seed means any planting materials. Through that, if we are getting the next generation plant, so that can be considered as a seed. So whether it will include all the food crops, whether it is edible or the fruits, vegetables, cotton seeds, or seeds of any, if we are using those plants in the fodder also, so those materials, those planting materials, tubers, bulbs, okay. Apart from that, the propagating materials, vegetative propagating materials of ginger, rhizomes, those all will be considered as a seed only, and their quality regulation is an important concern for us. So next is, so as I explained, that botanically it is known as mature fertilized ovule. And as discussed that Seed Act 1966, this act is to provide the or to regulate or to control the quality of certain seeds. Here you can see the statement is certain seeds. So there is some things that it is not covering all the seeds for sale or the matter connected with therewith. So now whatever the present things, whatever the present in the present scenario, whatever the discussions are there, in that they are thinking that in place of certain seeds, why we are not including all the seeds, why we are not enforcing complete certification. So for that also some pros are there, some cons are there, that as the lecture will proceed we will discuss. So next is one of the very important parameter is quality seeds, because certification means we are providing certify, or we are doing this, we are certifying some seeds, so it must fit some quality parameters. So for to say good quality seeds means it should have some parameters are there. On the basis of those we can say, okay, this particular classes of this particular lot of seeds is good quality, this is bad quality, so we can differentiate between those. So these are the healthy seeds should be there. It should be the seeds of improved varieties. Improved varieties means whatever the existing variety is there, the new variety, it must have the higher yield compared to those previous ones, so the farmers can get the more income. It should be true to type. Genetic purity must be there. True to type or genetic purity means whatever the breeders have specified, the all the parameter or the characteristics of particular variety, that should be there in that one. It should not be mixed. Okay, so physical purity means as we know that after harvesting some chaffy materials, parts of leaves, soil particles, it will be mixed with the seeds. So when farmers is procuring the seeds, it must be physically pure. Physical purity should be there. If suppose he is purchasing 1 kg of seeds, and in out of that, if 250 grams is other crop seeds and chaffy materials are there, so it will be a very great loss to him. So these things must be regulated. These things must be provided with a good physical purity. Then next is excuse me. Next is planting value. Planting value is a very important concern of seed. It will tell real worth of a seed lot. For example, farmers want to compare that particular two different. Here I am using again lot and lot. So lot means, seed lot means any quantity of seed which can be physically identifiable, which must be marked or labeled through some numbers. We can identify, okay, this particular lot means some numbers will be there. And how that number is constructed and how these numbers is formulated, that also will deal in this lecture. So planting value means we cannot say based on only on the germination percentage or only on the basis of purity percentage that particular lot is good. Suppose there are two lot A and B. If one is having higher percentage of purity, then and on the other part it is having lower germination, then we cannot decide on the basis of only one parameter. We need to include both purity as well as germination percentage. So when we include both, that will give us a real worth of a seed, that is known as planting value. Then seed germination, vigor must be there. Germination means just establishment of the plant. Vigor means it must give the healthy seeds. After when we are sowing the seeds, it must give the healthy seeds. It must be free from weed seed and other crop seeds. The seed side, and in appearance also, the consumer preference should also be an important criteria. The appearance also must be a good. Okay, so all these things will define the good quality seeds. All these parameters, not alone. So to meet this good quality seed criteria, or we must have something, so they can decide, okay, this or how to produce those good quality seeds, what things can be used. So that's why we need certification. That's why we need certification, and to certify this we need some peoples who can work in some organization, or what things are there, that also will be dealt. So in continuation to this, as I discussed, there Seed Act is there. So total this huge list, maybe font size is less, but here just I want to show that there are total 25 sections are there. Out of 25 sections, here today's our concern is with the since we are talking about the certification. So with certification, what are the things are there in the Seed Act? So we can see here certification agency. The establishment of certification agency is one of the very much important component of Section 8 of the Seed Act 1966. Then grant of certificate by certification agency, that established certification agency is under the Section 9 of the Seed Act 1966. Apart from that, related to this parameters also, like central seed certification boards are there, seed inspectors are there, seed analysts are there. So their roles are there in the process of seed certification. Next, this here you can see here the flow chart is there. This particular flow chart is showing that it's at the initial level when a breeder will develop some variety, or when he will identify some entry that it is more robust than the or more improved compared to the earlier entry, and it will be identified. So after that, he need to multiply. If it is hybrid, their parent seed must be multiplied, or if it is variety, their seed must be from plant breeding purview to it must enter into the seed technology or the seed must be multiplied. Because if we want to provide the certified seeds to the farmers, that forecasting will be done 3 years before. Because if we need certified seeds, we need to produce foundation seeds. So from foundation, we can produce the certified. To produce the foundation, we need the breeder seeds. For breeders, we need nuclear seed. So this is the chain is there. So here, just in brief, I will go through. So after this some field inspections, field selection should be there. Suppose if some contamination is there, that must be removed. So all those things will come again. Then planting equipment, sanitation to remove the contamination, isolation distance, roguing means removal of off-type plant. It may be voluntary plants, mutants, all those things. Field inspection must be there through a qualified plant breeder or seed certification officers. Certification is an important steps. Okay, then harvesting equipment, sanitary after harvesting, even as in this particular quality concern is main contamination after, even when after, before sowing we will think so much, okay, contamination should not be there, but at the time of harvesting we will do so much mistake. At the time of harvesting we won't care that much what we have cared before the sowing. At the time of harvesting, mostly chances will be there of mixing the seeds. Wherever the processing are going on, their seeds are mixing. Okay, so that time we need to care more, because it is always it is almost came to an end. Then storage of those seeds, testing and grading, then bagging, tagging, then supplying to the farmers. So this complete as a flow chart. In this flow chart, the farmers are a main component, because to produce or to multiply this much seeds, we don't have that much government lands. We need to produce on the farmers' lands, and we need to aware to the farmers that how he can regulate under the supervision of monitoring team. He can produce those things, and to do all those things, he can get extra subsidy for that one. It will be extra income to the farmers. Next slide is. So here, suppose this is the seed producer. So if he want to, or he or she want to enter into the seed production or marketing, if you want to produce the seeds, or if you want to enter into the supply chain, then he must go through some rules and regulation. Okay, how he has to procure the seeds, how he has to deal with all those things. He must go through the Seed Act 1966, wherever all the sections are there, he must follow. And seed rules are there 1968, which has 11 parts, 39 rules. You may think that act is there? Why? What was the need of rules? So to implement this act, there is a need of rules. Okay, so already in these sections, there are some things that to implement this section, we must formulate some rules. So some committees, some scrutiny bodies, so they can implement those things. So seed control orders are there. Then Indian minimum seed certification standards is there. This is very, very important. So here, this Indian minimum seed certification standards, it is online available also. It came into 1988 and it is revised in 2013. So here, suppose many persons will deal with different crops. A single person cannot know the criteria of all the crops. Okay, suppose if some person is working on the wheat, he will be he can explain or he can tell about the wheat, all the things. But if the farmers want to know about some other crops, then or some persons want to know about the other crops, then there is Indian minimum seed certification standards is there. So I will just open it and I will just show you how it will look like. So there is a hyperlink file. So you can see that Indian minimum seed certification standards is there. And it is from the Central Seed Certification Board, Department of Agriculture and Cooperation, Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India. It has been revised in 2013. So here you can see all the crops, they have given field standards, as well as see all the crops are there. Cereals, millets, pulses are there, fiber crops, forage crops, green manure crops, all these crops are there, or minor even crops are there. So I will just explain one crops that here all the things have been given, that what are the field standards are there, what are the minimum seed certification standards are there, which one must follow to proceed for the certification. Okay, so in that we'll take for example, for foundation it is separate, for certified seed it is separate. So all these things we must follow. So for example, barley is there. Okay, so in case of barley, what should be the isolation distance is there, they have given. If it is some different crop, different variety, if it is diseased, so all these parameters we must follow to proceed for the certification. So this is a very important criteria. So I will again come back to the slides of seed production, where I was explaining the a producer or the seed grower, if he want to enter into the seed production or the 10 cycles, then he must go through these rules and regulation. Next is there is a difference between seed and grain. This slide is actually well known. Everyone knows that seed is different from the grain. So I don't want to much spend time on this slide. So seed means it is scientifically produced. Okay, scientifically well planned is there. It all these test viability, germination percentage, all these things are very, very much important. And it will come under the Seed Act purview, whereas the grain, it will be used for the consumption purpose. It is normally not treated with the fungicide or pesticide, and here viability, genetic purity, it is not much concern. So next is seed multiplication model. So here you can see this particular nucleus seed stage. This particular stage is not under the seed multiplication model. Actually, it is limited to the breeder, because when the breeder will identify some entry, the small quantity of seeds will be there, that is known as basic seeds or nucleus seeds. Now he need to, when he will get indent, he need to multiply those nucleus to breeder, breeder to foundation, foundation to certified. But here actually there are different multiplication models are there. For example, 3-generation system, 3-generation multiplication model, 4-generation multiplication model, 5-generation multiplication model. So this breeder, foundation and certified. And under the one more important thing is, under the purview of certification, the breeder seed will also not come under the purview of the certification. Only this under the certification purview, the foundation seed stage and the certified seed stage only will come. Then the certified seed stage will be provided to the farmers. And this, for example, if we talk about the three generation multiplication system, then from breeder, foundation, and certified. Okay, so but sometimes what happen, suppose from breeders to foundation we have came, but we didn't get the sufficient quantity, the quantity is less, and from that if we will go for the certified, the enough quantity, whatever the demand is there, whatever the demand we have got from the farmers or from the consumer, we cannot fill that gap. In that case, we need to go one more steps. Okay, what may be that step? So for example, in this case, if it is quantity is not sufficient, so what we can do is we can grow from breeder seed stage 1 to stage 2. Okay, then we can come foundation seed stage 1 and then certified seed stage 1. So it will become 4th-generation model. If we are okay, we came to the foundation seed stage 1, suppose for example, and then we have came to know that the seed, whatever the generated seed is, that is not sufficient. Then what we can do, we can go for the certified seed stage 1, 2, or we can go for foundation seed stage 1, 2, then certified seeds. So there are possibility of 3-generation multiplication model, 4th-generation multiplication model, and 5th-generation multiplication model. But there is one concept that we should not exceed more than 3 generation, 3 cycle. If you are, because the chances of contamination will increase. As the generation will increase, the chances of contamination will increase. So especially wherever the those are highly cross-pollinated crop, in that it is very much concerned. So next is the seed certification. So before that, whatever we have discussed, these things was required to understand before going through this topic. So seed certificate, it is a legal system, because we have seen that sections rule Seed Act 1966. We have seen that okay, there is some legal system is there to, that legal system is there to control the quality of seed, to multiply that seed, to produce that seed. So there is some legal system, there is sanctioned, some legal system is there, in that we can produce the crop seeds, we can produce the seeds in a systematic manner with assuring the higher quality of the seeds. Okay, so that things we are getting through the seed certification. So quality assurance, it is a quality assurance process, and it's official source. Okay, suppose whatever the seeds are there in for domestic and international markets, so that is controlled and inspected by some official sources. Okay, certification official sources are there to provide the consistent and high quality seed. Consistently we need to provide. It is not like that, okay, whatever the new variety came and we are unable to provide those quality seed, that should not be there. Then some field inspection, quality checks, all those things are there. We again in further slides, particular phases and process of certification will come. And one more important thing is this certification is voluntarily processed. One may think that we are talking so much about that it will provide the quality seeds, the value will be increased. Then why it is voluntarily? Why it is not compulsory? So that thing, that is also one of the very good conversation and discussion. So here seed certification is a voluntary process, whereas labeling is compulsory. You must label the seed packet. Labeling is compulsory. In the next slides, in the coming slides, I will show you the photo of different tags. And so for the seed certification, some control measures are there, that it must check whether the true to type is there, genetic purity is there. Okay, it must go through all the field inspection. It must supervise agriculture and commercial operations, whatever the field operations are there. It must inspect the sample. It must have provisions of taking samples and check the quality. It must inspect the bulk as a total bulk. It must inspect to check the homogeneity of that lot. Okay, homogeneity of lead. It must control the plot testing. For example, in control plot testing means, for example, whatever the sample he has taken before the seed production, that and after the production of the seeds, that can be grown together with the standard variety, and that can be compared, that what quality or what characters they are getting. They can compare and they can come to a conclusion about the quality of those seeds. So next is history of seed certificate. This is very interesting part, that how, suppose means seed certification, the Seed Act was the first things that we have came to know, or something was there before that. So that was not legally, because we are telling now that it is a legal system for the quality assurance. So yeah, in the 20th century, Swedish worker was there. So there, what happened? The crop loss due to some disease or something, the very much rapid losses was there in crop. So they have initiated. They have the agronomists and plant breeders visited their field. Okay, and they have visited frequently, and they have talked to those farmers, those progressive farmers, and they have provided new variety seeds also, and they have given suggestions also. So this was the first things where the idea of seed certification or the concept of seed certification has originated, because wherever the visits are there through the qualified or the I can say the eligible or the knowing persons who know in that how the contamination can be prevent, how the contamination can be stopped, and how the quality of seeds can be improved, so it will fetch the higher price. So this was the first steps in the part of seed certification. So this process of field inspection, it became very much helpful. And even though after that also some problem was there, because they was not officials, they have visited their personal, because no legal system was there. So after that some problem came. So to overcome these problems, some scientists from USA and Canada, they have met in Chicago in 1919. Okay, so they have framed one International Crop Improvement Association, ICIA, International Crop Improvement Association, they have framed. And later on, this name changed into the very popularly today known as AOSCA, Association of Official Seed Certifying Agency, which has paved the modern way for our seed certification. So this is how we have traveled so far. So this is here website is also there. You can about this organization, more details can be. Then in India, okay, that is worldwide, we have understood till now. But in India, how it is proceeded, so in India, the field evaluation of seed crop and certification started with the establishment of NSC, National Seed Corporation, in 1963. Okay, so NSC is established on March 1963. This is the official website of NSC, National Seed Corporation. It is located in New Delhi. So initially, it is regulating the quality parameters of those seeds. Okay, so even till date, wherever the seed certification, as we know, we have discussed that as per the Seed Act 1966, in that section, we must the central, they will establish seed certification agency, and that will regulate. But in some of the state till date, we don't have the certification agency. In those state, the certification process is done through the National Seed Corporation. Okay, and one of the important concept, okay, it will come that, as we know, that if this agency itself is certifying, how it is possible? One cannot certify their own things. So that things will come, we will discuss in coming slides. So after this NSC, a legal status is given to seed certificate with the enactment of Indian Seed Act in 1966. And after that, seed rules were also formed. And this has created some things that, okay, certification means it will assure the quality. And in this process, Maharashtra was the first state to establish official seed certification agency in 1970. Okay, Maharashtra was the first state, but it was under the Department of Agriculture. If we will think about the autonomy or independent, then Karnataka was the first state. Who has established a seed certification agency in 1974. And if you, I'll talk about my state, Rajasthan, he has established 1977, the Rajasthan State Organic and Certification Agency. So at present, we have 22, we have certification agency in 22 states. So this year I have shown in map that Maharashtra was the first in under the Department of Agriculture who has established the seed certification agency, and the Karnataka is the first as an autonomous who has established the first seed certification agency. Then what are the objective of the seed certification? Okay, objective is clear that we must produce and supply and produce the high quality seeds, but that is very broad. Okay, in that we need to ensure the good seed viability, good seed vigor must be there, purity must be there, health should be there. And to accomplish this, we have three main objectives, that we have systematic increase of superior varieties. Whatever the older varieties are there, that must be replaced with the superior variety. That's why the system came that you cannot in the supply chain system, 10-year older variety cannot enter into that. In the wherever the agriculture research station are there, you cannot recommend the 10-year older varieties. Okay, so these policies are somehow they are promoting that there must be increase of superior varieties. Okay, so the second one is identification of new varieties and their rapid increase under appropriate and general accepted name. Then third one is provisions of continuous supply. Okay, continuously the supply must be there as per the demand. Then the purpose of the seed certification is whatever the seeds are there, good quality seed, that should be maintained and it should be make available to the public farmers. Okay, and high quality seeds and propagating materials should be there. Okay, of notified kind and variety. So what is this notified kind and variety? This we will discuss in the criteria of seed certification or eligibility for seed certification. It must ensure the genetic identity and purity. Okay, and it should design to achieve some prescribed standards are there, that I have shown you in Indian minimum seed certification standards. So those standards must be prescribed. Okay, must be followed. So here one flow chart I have shown where from the producer to the consumer, all the channels have been shown, that at all the levels we need to ensure the quality. Then what are the principles to form a seed certification agency? Okay, the first and foremost very important concept is the seed certification agency must not involved in the production of the seeds. Okay, if the agency itself will produce the seeds, then why the agency will reject their own seeds? That is one of the very important things. Okay, so whoever the producing seeds, they are different. Whoever the certifying seeds, they are different. Okay, one cannot certify this. One cannot, if they are involved in the production of seeds, they cannot certify. Okay, so that's why the different certification agency is there. Seed corporation is different, those who are involved in the production. Institution are different, those who are involved in the production. That is the other things, that they can have the linkage. Institution and the certification agency, they can have the linkage. So the supply of the seeds, there should not be gap in those channels. So second thing is, then one may ask that, sir, in earlier in one second. Yeah, we was discussing this one. Sorry for the interruptions. So one may ask, sir, that earlier you told that in case of NSC, wherever the certification agency is not there, their NSC is certifying, and we know that NSC is involved in the production of the seeds also. Then how that can certify the seeds? As your first point itself is stating that the certifying agency cannot involve in the production and marketing of seeds. It should have the autonomous body. So actually, what happened? Those states where the certification agency is not there. Okay, because I already told you, in only 22 states certification agency there. So in those states where certification agency is not there, their self authorization is given by the NSC. because NSC will give indent to produce the seeds, or whatever the seeds will be there, they will produce the seeds even in those states also where certification agency is not there, but that will be certified, or that will be inspected, or inspection through agriculture department or the qualified breeder or the monitoring team. Okay, through some different teams will be there. They will tell them, okay, these are our seeds, you just inspect this and self-authorize. They will give some self-authorization criteria, and then they will be doing. Then they will be done. NSC itself will not come and do the this certification. One more thing is truthfully labels. Okay, that will come when it in the coming slides we'll discuss. And whatever the certification standard is, procedures are there, that should be uniform. Whatever the agency they are formulating, it should be uniform. And this agency should be operating in the no profit and no loss condition. Means its aim is to provide good quality seeds with a reasonable price to the farmers community. It should not think that how much money I can earn. Okay, so the technical staffs must also be there. So in many places we know that human resource scarcity is very much important concern everywhere. In the morning session also, the speaker was telling that continuous transfer and those things are very important things which are disturbing the things. So in case of certification agency also, if the proper staff is not there and the inspection are there, so they can also give some other persons, some other breeders, some other team, monitoring team as an authorization to inspect those. Okay, there is also like this process is also there. So then certified seed producer. Okay, whom we will tell as a certified seed producer. So certified seed producer means any person. It may be an individual also, any organization. If it is organization, we cannot take as an individual. For individual, separate form is there. For the institution, separate form will be there. So who grows or distributes certified seed in accordance, and they will follow all the minimum seed certification standards. Okay, so this particular photographs actually from our station only. See, this is the moonbeam off type is there. So here this RMG 975 breeder seed production is there, and this is the off type we have identified and removed. So next is now eligibility requirement for seed certification. What are the eligibility requirement are there for seed certification? So means can we certify all the variety, all the release variety, all the materials which are with which we want to distribute to the farmers? Is it so? No, not like that. So seeds of only those variety which are notified under section 5. One system is there, notification or notified kind of variety. So in the Seed Act, section 5 is there. Section 5, how means when the plant breeder will identify any new entry. So it will be, the data will be, multi-location data will be presented in the particular crop specific workshop. In that workshop, it will be identified, okay, this particular entry is performing very well. And whatever the station trial and multi-location trial data also have revealed the same. So now what they will do, they will register that particular entry in the section 5. And that registration in the section 5 is known as notification of that variety. Okay, in present day, many popular varieties are there that are not notified, but they are released and they are in the they are in the lands also, but they cannot be certified. Okay, for certification, it must be notified. Okay, that is the very important eligibility criteria. Rest are well-known criteria, but it must be notified under the section 5 of the Indian Seed Act. That is a very important criteria. And apart from this, some other things are there, that it should be in the production chain. It should not be so much old. Okay, it should be in production chain. Then only it can be certified. And its pedigree, who was the parentage, all those details can also be traceable. It should we must know those details also. And apart from that, it must the criteria of the field standards. Field standard means what is the selection site, where the grower has produced those seeds, what are the isolation distances he has followed, what spacing, planting ratio, male to female rows, how many number of female rows, how many rows of male rows, border row, whether he has used or not as a physical barrier, whether he has used specific requirement of minimum seed certification, whether he has removed the voluntary plant, whether he has removed the off-type plants, pollen shedders, all those things he has done or not. So all those things are the very important criteria. Next, here you can see classes and sources of seeds. That is very important, because when you will produce seeds for the certification, then you must know the source of seeds, because the certification agency or the assistant director of seed certification, they will see that what source you have used, because as we know that whatever the characters are there in the parents, that will be transferred into the next generation. So if the source itself is contaminated, or if the source itself is not genetically pure, then how we can expect that the progeny or the next coming seeds will be good? So that is the source of seeds is a very important criteria. Here, as we have discussed earlier, there are three classes of seeds: breeder seed, foundation seed, and certified seeds. This is the breeder seeds, golden yellow color tag will be there. This is the foundation seeds, white color will be there. And this is the certified seeds, which is azure blue color will be there. And this is label. Okay, that is in color. The label will be there in case of label. And these things are seal is there, lead seal is there, because when we will pack those seed bags, so we cannot open, okay, after labeling, tagging, and all those things. So if complete bag is there, three things will be there. One will be lead seal, label will be there, and tag will be there. If we are certifying, because certification is voluntary. So if it is not certified, then label will be there only. Label, it is compulsory. And in label, minimum important information like germination percentage, you can see in this slides also, germination percentage, physical purity, genetic purity, what is the weight of that, okay. So all these things, which is the variety, okay. So all those things will be mentioned in case of label. Whereas in case of certified seeds, you can see class of seeds, okay, because I told class of seeds means whether it is certified seed stage 1, certified seed stage 2, okay, certificate number, and very important is date of issue of certificate, when it is issued, and till what it is valid, okay, when it is issued and till what date it is valid. These two things are very important. So further, here this table has shown specific size is also there. According to in the seed act, they have mentioned that particular label color and the size of the tag is also very important. That is very particular to the particular category of the seeds. For example, if it is breeder, it is 12-6. So these are the very specific. Then here you can see some photographs. Here you can see this bag. See, this one is lead seal. This is certified tag azure blue color, and this is the label. And here this is the zoomed picture of this tag only, certified. Here two slips you might be able to see. This is known as Bukram Parchi. Okay, so as this national seminar for entrepreneurship development only, so let us correlate for the farmers that how it is helpful for the farmer. So what will happen that in each state seed corporation limiteds are there. So as we know that to produce the foundation or certified seeds in that much huge quantity, the government doesn't have that much sufficient land. So they need to take help of farmers field. So if they are taking in the farmers field, if they are producing the foundation and certified seeds, okay, so there they must be regulated, that they must be monitored. Okay, so seed corporation, what they will do, they will identify the progressive farmer. Progressive farmers means those who have basic facility, irrigation sources, and all those things. Basic facility is there. Then they will aware about those program, that subsidy, because they will get the subsidy for this 30 to 40%. That will also vary. So when the farmers will receive the seeds, okay, so they will get they will suppose this is the farmer's name, his father name, village name, and the crop name, which variety he has issued, for which stage, okay, code number he has given, means it is given to the farmers for production of this particular, for example, it is certified seed or foundation seed, it is given to the farmers. Now what farmers will do, he will produce, he will sow those seeds, he will follow all the rules and regulations which is explained by the seed corporation officials. He will follow all those things and he will grow in their field, and timely inspection will be there from the monitoring team, okay, and from monitoring team timely inspection will be there, and after the produce he will again give those produced material to the give back to the seed corporation. Seed corporation again they will give to the seed processing plant where it will be processed, it will be cleaned, the pre-cleaning will be there, cleaning will be there, the choppy material, soil particle, all those things will be removed, grading will be there, and then they will send the samples to the seed testing laboratory. Seed testing laboratory will test that whether it is fulfills the minimum seed certification standard criteria or not, whether the genetic purity, physical purity, other crop seeds, disease designated disease, okay, all those things they are fulfilling the minimum seed certification criteria or not. If they fulfill, they will pass for the grant of certificate. If they won't fulfill, they will be rejected. So this is how the process is that is that again step by step we are going to read. Then there are as a whole, if it is not mentioned, it is well known that minimum genetic purity for foundation seed is 99%, and for certified, if it is variety composes synthetics multi-lines are there, then it is 98% minimum genetic purity must be there. Then if they are hybrids, 95%. One things you might have observed, as we are proceeding from breeder to foundation to certified, the quantity is increasing and quality is decreasing, because to this much huge quantity of seeds we cannot maintain the quality. Highest quality we will get from the breeder seeds, but the quantity will be very less. We cannot distribute to the farmers. It will be under the purview of breeder only. Breeder only is responsible for monitoring and all those things. It won't be distributed to the farmers. Okay, and when we will proceed for the foundation and certified, quantity is going to increase and the quality is going to decrease. Here also you can see 99 to 98 and 95. So these are which are the phases of seed certification or the process of seed certification. That is main concept of today's our topic, that how the seed, what are the process of seed certification. Till now we have understand some basic concept of those. So first actually what will happen, this again in that so many steps are there, that again in the coming slides we will discuss in details. So first, the producer or the grower, it may be individual, it may be the institution, he must fill the application form that he want to produce the seeds. He want that timely the seed inspection must be there, and his whatever the producer seeds is there, that must be certified. Okay, so first is receipt and scrutiny of application. Whoever the seed certification officer will be there, he will receive his application and he will check all those things and it will be scrutinized. And if it is okay, then that seed certification official will verify his seed source, that what seed source he has used. Okay, because in earlier slides I have told that seed source is very important criteria. Then he will come for field inspection. Field inspection is very important aspect. In the coming slides we will tell that what are the stages where the persons will come for the inspection. Okay, what are the in the crop wise also it will differ, how many times he will come. So these details, all these details will differ from crop to crop. Then after the harvesting, he will supervise the seeds crop. Okay, then he will take after harvesting, he will take the sample, he will test for that. Then if it is fulfills the minimum seed certification criteria, then he will go for the labeling, tagging and sealing and grant of certificate. So next is now one by one, as I told. So receipt and scrutiny of application. This is the first and foremost steps of the seed certification, or the first steps of phases of seed certification or the process of seed certification. So here the application for registration, two forms are there, Form 1A and Form 1B. So if you will, these files are hyperlinked. If I will open Form 1A, you can see it's in Hindi. So here it is seed productions. Okay, whatever the organization is there for seed production organization, their registration form is there. Okay, so it is like this. Some details are there. Okay, so this is the Form 1A, and the price for this forms is 3 rupees only. And if we want to apply for the certification, there is 25 rupees charge is there. And Form 1B is for the farmer. Okay, the Form 1B is the farmer. Then so for this, any persons who want to produce the certificates, he can register his name and he can apply. If he is individual, he can apply 1B. If he is institution, he can apply the 1A form. Okay, and he can send these forms to the assistant director of seed certification, and he need to pay some fee. What are the fee structure of these things? Also, I have hyperlinked this file. So those really you want to move towards in entrepreneurship process. So for them, it is information is very much important, because once we get idea, then it is very easy to enter into that. So here one circular is there, that here charges are there, given that for production agency, if one time registration is there, 1100 charges are there. For registration charges 25 rupees, for forum 3 rupees charges are there, for foundation different, for hybrids different. So here all these details has been given. And in this process, in this form process, we need to mention whether for which season he is entitled for the production, for example, Kharif, Rabi, or summer. And whoever the grower is there, you need to submit in 2 copies, because whenever the application is submitted, wherever the season is commencing, means before sowing, 10 days before the sowing, he will submit the application. Or if it is unable, or if it is not knowing that, okay, I need to submit, then he can submit at the time of sowing report also. Then what is sowing report? Sowing report means wherever the seed production area is there, wherever the farmers is producing, planning that, okay, in this particular area I will produce the seed, I will take the seed production for certificates. For certified seed production, I will take for the certified seed production. Then what he can do is he can prepare a sowing report, that on which date he has sown, which variety he has used, what is the seed, source of seeds, what is the location of these things, wherever all the 4 sites which are the crops are there nearby, what is the permanent landmark is there. So the officials can easily catch those sites and they can visit. Okay, so either 10 days before the commencement of the season, or at the time of sowing, report, they can submit. So on the when this seed certification officer will receive the application, they will verify first time limits, whether he has sent in the time or not, or it should not be that he has already sown the crop, it is in flowering and he is sending application. It should not be there. So the seed certification officer will scrutinize their application, that whether the particular variety he has shown is eligible or not, whether it is notified or not, whether it is in production chain or not, whether the source whatever he has mentioned is true to type or not. Okay, whether the class he has mentioned, based on that he has remitted the fees or not. So okay, so this thing, then after that, when he will confirm all those things, then he will give an application number. He will give application number will be like that initial, he will write crop name. Okay, for here I have given example. For example, paddy. K means the name of the season. 01 means application number. He will give some application number. Then 0506 is the financial year he will tell. Okay, so this is what the first step. Then second is sowing report. As I told, in the sowing report, if suppose, for example, one farmer has already submitted the application report before the commencement of season, then after that you need to send the sowing report. Or if they are sending together also, so they need to, their seed farm must be registered. Okay, for example, foundation class If he is producing the foundation seed, what will be the source of seed? Breeder seed. If he is producing the certified seed, what will be the source of seed? Foundation seed. Okay, so prescribed sowing report should be in 4 copies. He need to submit 4 copies. Okay, so now some important criteria will come. Whether suppose some farmers will say, sir, my field is so much for one field, one small area is here, one area is there. If I am taking both the places seed production, then whether I need to submit 2 separate sowing report or what, or if I'm changing my planting dates, if for one the same variety, the date of planting is this and the second date of is some different, then whether I need to in the same sowing report can I mention or not. So these things will come. So here, if his farm field is separated, if he is different varieties he is producing, if different class of seeds he is producing at different stages, suppose foundation seed stage 1, 2, different stages are also there. Even though same crop, same variety, different stages are there, he need to submit separate sowing report. Okay, and if his field is separated by 50 meters also, he need to submit the separate report. Then separate sowing, even though planting dates is also dates is also more than 7 days, then he need to submit the separate sowing report. Suppose one variety everything is same, but the sowing date is differ more than 7 days, then he need to submit the separate sowing report. Next is, as I told her, then once that sowing report is reached to the assistant director, so within 30 days of the sowing or 15 days before flowering, whichever is earlier, in case of transplanted crop, the 15 days of flowering, this is the time period for the sowing report. Okay, earlier also you can after sowing also you can send, but it must be within the 35 days from the sowing or 15 days before the flowering, whichever the earlier is there. Out of these two, he must send the sowing report. Okay, in case of transplanted crops, it is different, it is fixed that 15 days. Then that producer, as I told you, he should, on the backside of this sowing report, everything should be clearly mentioned, that the rough sketch of his seed farm, the permanent mark, bridge, road, if anything, if any landmark is there through the officials can reach very easily. That is the very important. Then based on this sowing report, the seed certification officer will scrutinize their application. Then the second part of this seed certification, or the first part was the receipt and scrutiny of the application. In that we have understood two things. Then the second part or second process of seed certification is verification of seed source, that we have understood very well till now, that what is the role of seed source. Then third is field inspection. Field inspection is very important, and it will really regulate the quality of seeds. Okay, so field inspection authority will be there, certification officers will come, registering authority will be there, they will do the field inspection. Okay, then how many times they will inspect. Okay, how many visits will be there, on what are the stages of crop growths are there, on that they will come and inspect. So that will also differ. So here you can see the wait 1 second. So here you can see the photographs of seed certification officials who came for monitoring or quality monitoring of our seeds. Then here, after verification, here we know that seed farms or the seed production farms are very large. There must be some pattern so we can cover maximum area. Okay, so there are walking patterns are there for field inspection. Okay, if the walking pattern is like this, then we can cover 60 to 70% of the field. If the walking pattern is random, we can, in that also, if like this, if you are following, if like this you are following, okay, if like this you are following, you will cover the 60% of the field. So these are the walking patterns of field inspection. Then in case of this is a general concept that in case of field inspection will be more in case of hybrid seed production compared to self and cross or often cross planted crops. In hybrid it will be more, because in hybrid the chances of contamination will be more, so that must be regulated more frequently compared to those in self and cross planted crops. And in case of hybrid seed production, the certification agency used to come without any prior notice, whereas in case of self planted crops they will give prior notice and they will come for inspection. And my view means if they are giving the prior notice, it is good, because the grower will follow all those things. Okay, the inspection will be there, so he will before that, in the appropriate stage, he will remove all those off types, and this will improve the seed quality. So what are the key points are that has to be observed each stage in each inspection? Suppose if inspection is there at the before the flowering, at vegetative stage is there inspection, then what things the farmers need to take care, or what things the seed production, the producer or the grower, he need to set in his mind. He need to verify already these things is over confirmation that verified, then whether he has given in the sowing report, acreage report, he has already given what are the land planting ratio, whether if it is involving in the hybrid production, what the female and male ratio he has used. Because if the number of female rows, if he is increasing and male rows is decreasing, sufficient pollen he is not getting, then what will be the use of more number of female rows? And if he is using more number of male rows and less number of female rows, he will get the sufficient and abundant quantity of pollen, but there are very less rows to set the seeds. What is the use? So he must follow the optimum planting ratio of male and female. Then border rows, he need to isolation distance, he need to maintain. Okay, isolation distance also in coming slides it will come. Then I will explain the concept of isolation distance. Then in the vegetative stage, whatever the inspection authority is there, you need to explain the grower about the off type, because in the vegetative stage, because before flowering he need to remove, so he will explain those things, that what will be the off type, what is pollen shedder, what is disease plant, what is shedding tassels. These things also I will explain in coming slides. And then the second inspection is at flowering stage. Likewise, the criteria is that in flowering stage what he need to take care, in the during post flowering what are the things he need to take care. So all those things will be there. Suppose for example, after post flowering, what things he need to take into the consideration, and during the harvest what things he need to take the consideration. So all these things, whoever the field inspection authority will come, he will judge their quality based on these things. Then what are the minimum number? As I told, that inspection, how many numbers should be there? Okay, whether 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time. Okay, whether so it depends on crop to crop. Then very important thing is, if the crop is liable to more contamination, means it is highly cross pollinated, then number of inspection will be more. If it is crop is liable to the very less contamination, if it is highly self pollinated crop, then the number of the inspection will be less. This is the general concept. Okay, so here you can see, whoever highly self pollinated crops is there, the inspection is less. For example, paddy and wheat, only 2 inspection is there. Sorghum hybrid is there, 4 inspection is there. Varieties 3. Maize, if they are hybrids, 4 inspection is there. If variety is there, 2 inspection is there. So this is very important. So range is 2 to 4. Minimum 2 inspection is there, more maximum 4 inspection are there. Okay, and what are those 4 inspection? In earlier slides we have understood. Okay, and here they have given what are those stages. But the concept of this minimum and maximum number of inspection we have understood. So let us not go in depth that what are those steps. Then concept of field count. For example, okay, if the inspection authority has came, now you have a large area of seed production. So how many plants you need to observe, how many area you need to cover. So there is a concept, there is a number of counts are there. Okay, in 1 counts, how many plants is there? That is also the things that will come in coming slides. Now, for example, if up to 5 acre land is there, up to 5 acre land, he need to take 5 counts, minimum 5 counts. And as on if every 5 acre, as the area will increase, so every 5 acre, the one counts will increase. Suppose example, up to 5 acre land is there seed production, then 5 counts is there. Then 5 acre area added means 10, 6 to 10. Then number of counts will be increased by 1, 6 counts. So this is the things of count. Then one more important, suppose in count system or some this whatever the standards he has taken, whatever the things he has observed, and he feels that whatever the things are there, that is not in the limits of the minimum CD certification standards. Okay, then there is a rule of double count, means again he can take a count, but that is possible only in that case whenever suppose for example criteria minimum criteria is 10 and you are not more than the double of that. Okay, you are suppose less than the minimum required is 10 and your value is suppose less than 20, then only it is possible that you will go for the second count, otherwise it is not possible. Next is, so on completion of double count, they will take average of both the count, first count and second count. They will take average of both the count. Then number of counts, as I told, how many numbers of count per count will be there. Count system we have understood, double count we have understood. Now per count, how many plants we need to take. So that is again vary from crop to crop. In closely planted crops and tillering plant, minimum 1,000 plants are there, and medium spaced crops, 500 plants are there, and if the crops are widely spaced, 100 plants is there, and the category of crops are also given. Now, what are the sources of contamination is there? Okay, so physical contamination is also there, genetical contamination also there. Physical contamination is inseparable, other crop, weed, disease, plant, and in case of genetical contaminants of type, pollen shedder, and these things are there. So this terminology is very, very important in the seed certification scenario. So what is off type is any plant which is deviating from whatever the morphological characters are specified for that particular variety. If any morphology character deviating from that, it may be in terms of plant height, it may be trend, it may be in terms of tendrils, it may be in terms of leaf morphology, then that is the off type. Okay, and even if it is of same species, different varieties is there, that is also off type. If it is from different variety, that is also off type. If it is voluntary plant means for example, in previous season, whatever the crops we have sown, their seeds if germinated in this season, okay, the dominant seed germinated in this season, that is also voluntary plant, means they have naturally same kind, they have grown naturally, that is also off type. So that must be removed. Okay, then pollen shedder means we have A line, B line, okay, R line in hybrid seed production. A line means male sterile line, B line means maintainer line, R line means restored line. So A line means male sterile line. There means pollen, their anther must not be fertile. The pollen should not be functional. Okay, but in that case, if you are getting the anthers, okay, in that line, if you are getting the anther, that is pollen shedder, means that will do the contamination, because you are ensured, okay, that is the female line, anthers is not there. But if you are getting anthers, means that will leads to the contamination, you will get the self seeds. So that is the contaminant that must be removed timely. Then sometimes what happen that in A line also, due to some environmental condition, or sometimes what will happen, there will be in A line itself, there will be formation of some anthers will be there. They are known as partials. They are also a kind of pollen shedders only. Then shedding tassels is there. In case of maize plants, what will happen that in female parent rows, the pollen is shedded by their tassels. So that type of things is known as shedding tassels. Then some inseparable crop plants is there, which is very difficult to separate from the main crop. So they are known as inseparable crop plants. They must be identified in the seed testing laboratory and the inspection must be made. Then objectionable weed plant. Some weed plant is there. They are very difficult to separate if once mixed. They are poisonous also. They have very dominance effect on the main crop. They have very difficult to eradicate, and mechanical admixture is there. So here some example tables is given. In that examples is given that for particular crop, these are the objectionable weed plants. So as I have in the initial slides, I have shown you minimum seed certification standards book. In that for each crops, they have given that which are the objectionable weed plant. That must be removed. That must be removed well and before. Okay, because they are objectionable weed plant. One of the very good example of to show the severity of this thing is in case of rapeseed and mustard. Here you can see the 3 photographs. The seeds will look similar only, because as I told you, once it is mixed, it is very difficult to separate. So the seeds of rapeseed, mustard, and Argemone mexicana will look like similar, but the seeds of Argemone mexican, Argemone, they have some poisonous effect. Okay, so earlier people's what they used to do to get the price, they used to do adulteration. They used to do mix the seeds. Okay, so that should not be there. That's why we are telling that certification is very good, and it will ensure the quality, because it is regulating each and every stage. Wherever the contamination is possible, each stage it is there. Then next is designated disease. Some diseases are there that are very specific to particular crops, and they are responsible for the major yield loss. So I will tell you, in our field this time wheat seed production was there. So there loose smut was major concern. So that is a designated disease. So if it is there, we need to very careful. We need to remove before the particular stage. We need to collect in the field itself, in the bag itself. We need to collect, otherwise there a spore will be. So whatever the disease are there, proper knowledge should be there, and then we need to remove those things well in advance. So designated disease means diseases are concerned with particular crops which are involved for seed loss, a major seed loss, and reducing the quality, which are responsible for the reducing the quality. Then as per in what land unit you can go for the seed production. So it is general recommendation that if you have sown the same variety, okay, same variety in the previous year, okay, but you have not taken for that seed certification, then you might have not, you must have not followed all the rules and regulation. And in the coming year, if you are taking the seed production, then you may get the contamination. And one more important concept is before sowing, 3 weeks before, they will go for the irrigation. So whatever the volunteer plants are there, whatever the remaining weeds are, they will germinate. So you can easily remove those things before the sowing of actual seed production crop. Then very important concept of isolation distance. So isolation distance, we are maintaining minimum distance between the seed crop, the variety, which from the contaminants, which it may be the same variety, it may be the other variety, it may be the other species. Okay, so we need to maintain the minimum distance, and that minimum distance is also based on the mode of pollination. If mode of pollination is achieving the higher contamination, then the isolation distance will be more. If the mode of pollination is achieving the less contamination, then the isolation distance will be less. So here I have given the list of table. Need not to go through one by one, but it will give one view that if you will observe, wherever the self-pollinated crops are there, isolation distance is less. And as we will proceed for the cross-pollinated crops, the isolation distance is more. So it is a concept that if the highly cross-pollination will be there, contamination chances will be more. So the distance must be more. For example, in case of bajra, it will go to 1,000 meters, means 1 kilometer. And in case of highly self-pollinated crop, it is just 3 meter only. So it depends upon the mode of pollination. And that is the minimum distance you must follow. That is the important criteria of seed certification. One of the important criteria of seed production. Then only they will be, those seeds will be liable for the seed certification. Then if the seed certification officer during the inspection, if he feels that after the taking, it should be rejection report, then he must send this report to the his higher authority of seed certification officer. Then the grower can, if it is possibility, if there is chances that, okay, by improving this without the degrading the quality, if there are some chances that he can improve the quality, then he can again apply for re-inspection. If it is, there is no scope of improving the quality, then there is no need of re-inspection. Then there are post-harvest supervision of the crops is also there, like on the threshing floor, transport, processing plant, where the most of the things, most of the contamination are occurring. Then processing of seed lot, whatever the lots is there, that will be processed on the processing plot, and it will be given, a particular number will be given. So that giving or the identification of that lot number is very important criteria, because through that the farmers can trace back that which farmer, suppose the farmers, whatever the seeds he has got, he want to know that whatever the seeds he got is not good, or whether it is good or not, he can trace back that from where it is processed, from where it is produced, and which farmers he has produced. All these details can be traced by. So that is the very important thing. So here you can see the construction of lot number. So lot number here, this the same photo I have given again, so I can explain you what is the lot number. See here, here date of issue of the certificate is September 2018, and it is valid up to September 2008, May 2019. So if you will count the months from September to May, there is 9-month validity will be there. That is again, it will, the discussion, in the discussion part it will come. And here you can see this is the lot number. Here APR 1320236 like that he is given. So this lot number consists of 4 parts. This is one part, APR and 18, one part. This 20 is second part, 236 is third part, 306 is fourth part. Total fourth part is there. But if it is not visible here I have taken one more example. MAR 96 is one part, 20 is second part, 01 is third part, 01 is fourth part. Total 4 parts will be there. The first part will mention month and year code. Okay, on which month and on which year. Okay. Second will show the production location code. Third will show processing plant code, where it is processed. Fourth will show seed produce code, on which farmer's field it is produced. So all these details you can find out from the certified seed lot number. Okay, so for example, a month name, how it will be given here, it is APR. If it is January, JN, if it is February, FEB, first 3 letters it will be there. Okay, and for year, last 2 will be there. If it is 2022 means 22 will be there. So we'll come to know, okay, in this month, in this year it is. Then second digit is 20, it is production location code, it is state code. All the state has given different code. For example, 01 for Andhra Pradesh, 02 for Arunachal Pradesh, okay, 20 is for Rajasthan. So as I have seen, 20 means it is production location code is Rajasthan. Okay, so any farmers, if he will purchase the seed certified seed, he will identify, okay, in this month, in this year, and this is the state who produced this, and this is the processing plant where it is processed, where it is cleaned, where it is graded, where all those inert matter and all those things has been removed. This was the, if he has not removed properly, we will come to know that this is the processing, this is the particular processing plant. So here processing, this third digit will show the particular processing code, the code has given. Okay, so this emphasizes the very important part of seed certification. Then after this seed lot number, the samples will be taken from the, and it will be sent to the seed testing laboratory. In the morning session, we have understood that what are the role of seed testing laboratory, how the scenario is there in the India. So after this, the samples are sent to the seed testing laboratory. And so actually seed certification officer will send to the his higher officials, okay, by, and whatever the samples he will take, he will follow all the International Seed Testing Association procedures and send the samples to his higher authority. Higher authorities will send his samples to the seed testing laboratory. For, and in one state also there may be more than one seed testing laboratory. It will also again depends on the region, on which regions the seed part is coming. So where through which lab it must go, through which seed testing laboratory it must go. So in seed testing laboratory, the seed analyst will be there. They will analyze the samples. They will analyze for the physical purity, germination percentage, moisture content, okay, health test, all those things they will do. And those seed testing officers will again communicate within 20 days of the receipt of those seed sample. They will tell what is the result, whether they fulfill the minimum seed certification criteria or not. If it is produced, then this reports will be shared from the seed certification officer to the producer and producer and his lower authority also. If he fulfills all the things, then label will be issued, certified tag will be issued, Azure Brew for certified seed, white for the foundation. And as I have explained in the tag, that validity for 9 months, and this tagging should be done within the 60 days of testing. Okay, then resampling is also, suppose if it fails, okay, then resampling is also possible. Suppose if whatever the analysis it did, germination, if it is the difference is 10, within the 10 differences is there, then resampling can be done. Then if it is more than 10 differences there, then reprocessing can also be done. Okay, but for this, producer must request to the seed certification officer that whatever the results he has got, it is having only this much difference, so please please take the resample or please reprocess this, and that must be done within the 10 days of the results. Then this is how we have discussed all the phases of seed certification. Okay, so till in 6 important phases or in 6 important process of seed certification are there. Then one more important concept of downgrading of seed class. Suppose the farmers or the seed grower had produced the seeds, and he has sent all the seed in this seed corporation officials have taken the samples and they have sent to the seed testing laboratory, but it has not fulfills for what class he has produced. For example, he has produced for certified seed, but it is not following the certified seed standards, but it is following the foundation seed certification standards, okay, immediate lower class, then it is possible. That is known as downgrading of the seed class. It is not applicable on the hybrids. It is applicable on the varieties. Okay, so this is how we have understood the scenario of the seed certification. Now we have reached at the end only. Now few slides is there. So at the end we have some look that how much seeds is produced, what is the Indian. So this particular graph I have taken from the Institute of Seed Science. So here you can see, here we will take the recent year. In 1920, you can see the production was 1,16,573 quintals. But what was the indent? Indent was 85,753 only. Means we have produced much more what compared to the demand. Means we for major it is for field crop. So for majority of the crops we have reached to the surplus. We have enough quantity of seeds for majority of the crops, not all. Okay, for majority of the, so what I think is for those crops, for them we have reached to a surplus, or we are enough, we are strengthened enough that we can fulfill the demand. There I think we can go now from quantitative to qualitative seeds. Okay, means we need to improve much still more quality. So next is in our state, this slide shows that Seed Corporation Limited, who identifies the progressive farmers and allot the seed production and provide the subsidy. Like this in all the state, Seed Corporation Limited will be there. So the farmers can contact their nearby Seed Corporation Limited, and they can get entitled with them, and they can be aware, and they can go for the seed production program. And this is the seed certification agency website, Rajasthan State Seed and Organic Certification Agency. So in this today's topic, we have discussed normal seed certification, but actually organic seed certification is also one of the very important criteria. So this was not the part of today's session, but however, a few minutes I will take. So in case of in Rajasthan, we have Rajasthan State Seed and Organic Certification Agency. Earlier, the name of this agency was Rajasthan State Seed and Organic Production Certification Agency was the earlier name. Then people have objected that in the name itself, production is there, whereas the first and foremost rule is that that agency must not be involved in the production. Then they have removed the production name. Now the name is Rajasthan State Seed and Organic Certification Agency. So two wings are there. One is Rajasthan State Seed Certification Agency. Second wing is Rajasthan State Organic Certification Agency. One wing is involving in particular seed production, seed certification. Other wing is involving in organic seed certification only. And the wing here you can see in elsewhere we have one publication regarding organic seed certification. There in Rajasthan or wherever the organic seed certification are there, they will follow the national program for organic production. They will follow the APEDA authorities and all those things. So at the end, I again thank you for giving me such opportunity, and I will hand over the session by the quote that seed is a bridge of hope between present and future, and it is inevitable for life continuity. Thank you once again. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for your long spell of very nicely describing from the beginning to the end the way how we can do it, and what is the scope, and more detail about the certification, and then how to do it in the field level. So very nice presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
And now I request to the participants, if you have any queries and any information you want to additionally more, so you can interact. So I will just unmute everyone. In that process, you will also be muted. I'll just unmute. So is there any questions and queries? If any questions, you can type it in the chat box also. Most of them are our students. They were attending, and so they were more particular about their theoretical knowledge they have gained.
Yeah, if no doubts is there, I will share my mail ID also. If any doubts is there, so it will be good for students. So okay, they can ask also. So
I have one question.
Yeah, sir. Sure,
so you have mentioned it that in the designated diseases, there are a lot of diseases like in wheat, sorghum, pearl millet, cowpea, green gram, gingerly, sunflower, brinjal. And among all these that you have mentioned, only in tomato, tobacco, mosaic virus. But then there's more problematic in the chili. That is, virus is more problematic. And tomato also, this taspo virus and leaf curl virus is more problematic. So that is really affecting more this quality seed, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Actually, in that slide, just I have summarized. Just I explain that what is designated disease, and if for the respective crop, if we want to know that whether this particular disease is designated or not, we need to follow the Indian minimum seed certification standards. So many times we have seen that some disease is very reducing higher yield also, but it is not. It may not be the designated disease by the seed certification. So there are all
but over a period of time, these
will be added.
You have mentioned is earlier it was it was attacking, but now the emerged diseases are taking the higher level.
Yes,
damage the quality seed production.
Yeah.
Even if a tomato, tomato leaf curl virus, it is attacking the plants, will become sterile. You won't even give any kind of seeds.
Yeah.
So it will become totally sterile. This tomato.
And in case of virus, we don't have any option other than removing those things.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Very nice presentation.
Thank you.
So
sir.
I think any questions? I'll just ask. Okay. I think there were some questions or queries. Certification stage 2. Amarkale. What was your questions? Can you ask directly the resource person?
I think he might be. They might be asking that first step is just like means receipt of application and scrutiny. After that, verification of seed source. So that was the second stage.
Okay, yeah, he's typing about, yeah.
Certified seed
Details
stage
about,
second. Okay. I think he might be asking that foundation seed stage 1, 2, certified seed stage 1, 2. So certified seed stage 2 he is asking. So normally when the sufficient quantity of certified seed stage 1 we don't have, then we will go for the certified seed stage 2.
Okay. More questions from the participants? Okay, if there is no questions, so finally, sir, thank you very much for your elaborate and detailed lecture on scenario of seed certification, a legal system for seed quality assurance. So in Northeast, we have about very few seed testing laboratories in Assam and one in Meghalaya and Mizoram. I hope this lectures and information which will help the students as well as entrepreneur seekers to go for certification, even to produce quality seeds in this northeastern region. Since we have a lot of biodiversity and opportunity for a lot of horticulture crops and even other flowers and many other crops. I hope this information, it will be very helpful for the students and entrepreneurs. Thank you so much, sir, for sparing your time and giving us this opportunity in this platform to deliver your lectures. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Shall I leave now, sir?
Dear participant, tomorrow we'll have at 10:30. The lecture we will start by 10:30. So please join by tomorrow 10:30, all the participants. Okay, sir, thank you.